All right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone, as well as those men that preach and teach the likewise doctrine. No compromises, no mixing it to fix it. Shalom to all the Akim and a few Aquat who may be listening. It's your brother Bataka Layouter from the GMS camp here in Chicago, coming back at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. I'm going to play this clip real quick, Lord willing, and get right into it.
You were lied to about lobsters. Lobsters were only fed to slaves, prisoners, poor people, because they're like big roaches. Most crustaceans are bugs that live in the water, right? Just like bugs on land. In the northern Atlantic region, they used to just wash up on the shores and be crawling around, and the poor people would like sneak and go grab them at night to eat them because they didn't want to get caught eating ocean roaches because they would have got made fun of. But then when the railroad was invented, they started shipping them to other parts of the country. They marketed these big roaches as delicacies, and they lied and said that people in Boston loved these and only the rich people ate them, and then people in other parts of the country ate that up and they started to enjoy it. And then it started to become a delicacy even in places like Boston where there were tons of them. It was all just a elaborate marketing scheme, but I still eat it every time I'm out, so I feel like I'm balling. You were lied to about lobster.
All right.
Lobster.
So you see, as we know, Jake got that seafood demon on him. But really, you know, Jake's real problem is just the fact that they're hard-headed and that they don't want to listen. You seen how that guy just explained that he understood that eating that stuff was bad. Now, he didn't say that he knew it was against the law as far as the scriptures are concerned, but at least as far as health is concerned and, you know, understanding what those creatures actually are, he thoroughly explained it, and he thoroughly explained that he knew he wasn't supposed to eat it, but he didn't care because he wanted to feel like a baller. This Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 9, these shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. Verse 11, they shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whosoever hath no fins nor scale in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. All right. Now, another thing that I want to point out is that notice that they have a Jake that looks like he got a lot of money and is physically in shape saying this shit. All right, and that's another thing that they like to do. You know, they'll put the Jakes that's getting money, quote unquote, or they'll take a Jake that look like he's, you know, in good health physically, and they'll have him talk about doing these things, whether he's doing them or not. All right, and you know, Jake just don't care. And even another example, I was at the store with my mother. She came to town to visit, and she was gonna cook some food for some other people in our family. So I took her to the grocery store so she could get what she needed to get before I dropped her off back to go do whatever she was doing. And while we was in the grocery store, the whole day I was getting on her about, you know, exercising more, eating better, drinking more water and stuff like that for her health. As soon as we get in the store, after we've been talking about this all day, she sees the crab legs and she goes and she's looking at the bag. And I tell her, now, you know, we've been talking all day about eating right. And I'm trying to explain to her that that's not eating right. Eating that is not healthy. And, you know, of course, it's seafood, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I explained it to her that it's a bottom feeder. It's still a roach. But, you know, Jake get offended. You could tell that, I mean, she didn't explode or nothing, but you could tell she just dropped it because she don't care. She's going to keep eating it. And that's how Jake is, all right? They don't, whether they have the knowledge or not, a lot of these Jakes got the understanding of what they supposed to do and not supposed to do. I ain't going to say that they got you know, the knowledge of certain breakdowns and the knowledge of on a high level. But as far as don't be a mo, as far as don't eat pork, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't commit adultery, Jake know they not supposed to be doing that, and they don't care. This Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are Sodom's children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. And that's where Jake is at, man. You know, this dude in the video, he knew what he wasn't. He knew that for his health he wasn't supposed to eat certain that lobster and all them other certain creatures. But he don't care about that, man. It's balling to do that. You know, people think you got money. People look at you different when you do that, and they think you a high-end, high-class type of individual according to the society standards. So Jake like to do it. All right, let's go into this word side real quick. So log, here we go. All right, so the word sadish goes into being a fool, foolish, sadish. You know, Jake don't care. They just do what they want to do, and it's foolish to not have fear of the Lord and to just not do what the Lord wants you to do, even though you know this is wrong or that is wrong. And like I said, certain of these Jakes, they may not mention that they know it's wrong because of the scriptures, even though a lot of them do, whether they mention it or not. But they know that it's going off, and they don't care, man. This is Jeremiah 17 and 21. All right. Thus saith Yahweh, take heed to yourselves and bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Neither carry forth a burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day, neither do ye any work, but hallow ye the Sabbath day, as I commanded your fathers. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their necks stiff, that they might not hear, nor receive instruction. And it shall come to pass, if ye diligently hearken unto me, saith Yahweh, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, then to do work therein. Then shall there enter into the gates of these cities kings and princes sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, they and their princes, the men of Judah, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the cities shall remain forever. All right, so this isn't necessarily talking about eating the certain abominable foods. This is more talking about keeping the Sabbath. But the point that I wanted to make with this here is that, you know, Jake is given direct commands. Jake is given the consequences of doing the command properly and the consequences of doing the command improperly. Jake is explained, and Jake understands if we listen to the Lord and do things a certain way, everything is going to be good. If we don't, things are not going to be good. These things are told to Jake up front. But as verse 23 says, Jake still don't want to obey. Jake still got a stiff neck. Jake still want to do what they want to do, even though they've been warned what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. All right, and that's just how Jake is, and that's one of the things that actually identify us as Israelites. But it's still, you know, Jake's still going off, and Jake still got to get their mind right and stop being so hard-headed, man. You know, because when you do what the Lord wants you to do, you're going to be blessed. When you don't do what the Lord wants you to do, you're not going to be blessed. All right, and the times that we're coming into, you're going to need the blessing from the Lord to be able to make it through. You're not going to make it through based off no skills that you got. You're not going to make it through based off nothing that you stack and stockpile up. You're not going to make it through off none of that. Only thing you're going to make it through off of is if the Lord wants you to make it, which is the same thing for anything else, really. I'm going to get this last one and we're going to close it out. This is Jeremiah 5 and 31. It reads, the prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means, and my people love to have it so. And what will ye do in the end thereof? All right. So this dude that they used in this video, I don't know who he is, but I would assume he has a large following on social media. And even if he doesn't, it's plenty of other examples that we can use. Name your favorite rapper, actor, politician that's a Jake, upscale preacher or neighborhood preacher. It don't matter. Any type of church preacher that's a Jake. All these dudes, you know, they 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 help convince and teach Jake how to go off for Esau. All right, you got these pastors eating scrimps, they eating pork chop dinners, you know, crab legs. They doing all this shit, man, and they know that you're not supposed to do it, and they don't care. All right, this dude who is an influencer on the internet, that's another example of what these people look at as like a priest. These are the people that they take influence from. Niggas like this, niggas that look like they got money, rappers, artists, all these influencers and high level entertainers, all they do is talk about not just eating abominable foods, but committing adultery, you know, disregarding the Lord, disregarding the scriptures, you know, being a demon. They promote all this shit, man, to men and women and children alike. They don't care. And this is a part of the reason why Jake don't got no problem going off and don't want to listen when you tell them that they got to do this a certain way, because you know Jake respect people that got money. Jake don't respect people that got knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And that's one of the things that got us in last place now, and that's one of the things that got us on the Lord's bad side first and foremost. But you know things are turning around. The Lord is waking up the elect. Lord willing, we all be at that number, you know, and he's gonna bring the hammer down on this kingdom, and all this shit is gonna be over with soon. But with that being said, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Bashem, Akakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone, as well as those men that preach and teach the likewise doctrine. No compromises, no mixing to fix it. Shalom to all Akim and a few Akwatu may be listening. Until next time, Lord willing.